Это сок. Я пью сок. Это вода. Я пью воду. Это журнал. Я читаю журнал. Это книга. Я читаю книгу. Привет, друзья, and welcome to Start Russian. And in today's video, we'll talk about the accusative case in Russian. And remember that in order to understand and correctly use a Russian case, you need to know two things about it. First is the meaning of the case. What does it mean? When do we use it? What triggers it? And second is the form. How do we actually put words in that case? What endings do we apply to words in order to put them in that case? And you guys are very lucky because accusative is one of the easiest Russian cases. Let's start with the meaning. What does the accusative case mean? So the fundamental meaning of the accusative case in Russian and other languages is direct object. So whenever you use a noun as a direct object in a sentence, you must put it in the accusative case. So what is the direct object? A direct object is something you act upon or something you do something to. For example, if you say, this is juice, that's not accusative because you're not doing anything to it. But if you say, I drink the juice, then you're acting upon it because you drink it, and in that case, it becomes the direct object. So in Russian, you'd have to put it in the accusative case. So eating a banana, reading a book, watching a movie, all of those things would be direct objects. And I actually have great news for you guys. The accusative case exists in English, except in English it doesn't exist in nouns, but it only exists in personal pronouns. For example, imagine I say, this is my wife, and then I say, she is beautiful. So she is the nominative case because it's the subject of the sentence, right? But then imagine I want to say, I love she. No, I couldn't say that, right? I would have to say, I love her. So her is the accusative form of she. Except again, in nouns in English, you wouldn't see any difference. My wife is beautiful versus I love my wife. My wife would not change. But in Russian, the accusative case does affect nouns and adjectives. Which brings us to the second aspect of the accusative case, the form. So how do nouns change in Russian when you put them in the accusative case? And I have great news for you guys again. The accusative case has a very easy form in Russian. So in the accusative case, masculine, neuter, and even plural nouns do not change. So basically they just stay the same as in the nominative case. For example, masculine, sok in the nominative would also be sok in the accusative. Neuter, молоко in the nominative would also be молоко in the accusative. And then for example, plural, apples would be яблоки in the nominative and яблоки in the accusative. And the only gender that you have to worry about changing in the accusative is feminine. But that change is super easy as well. Remember the simple rule. A to u, ya to you. Most feminine nouns in Russian end in a or ya, and in the accusative case again, those would change to u and you. For example, вода in the nominative case would become воду in the accusative case. Книга in the nominative case would become книгу in the accusative case. Let's look at some examples. Masculine, nominative, это банан, this is a banana. Accusative, я ем банан, I'm eating a banana. No change because this noun is masculine. Nominative, это журнал, this is a magazine. Accusative, я читаю журнал, I'm reading a magazine. Feminine, nominative, это вода, this is water. Accusative, я пью воду, I'm drinking water. Again, as a feminine noun, a will change to u for accusative. Nominative, это книга, this is a book. Accusative, я читаю книгу, I'm reading a book. Neuter, nominative, это молоко, this is milk. Accusative, я пью молоко, I am drinking milk. Again, as a neuter noun, it would not change in the accusative. And plural, nominative, это яблоки, these are apples. Accusative, я ем яблоки, I eat apples. Again, plural nouns would not change in the accusative. And one more thing. Remember that a noun may be a direct object even if there is no physical, observable action. For example, drinking water is clearly an action, but you can also say, I see water, or I like water, or I want water. In all of those examples, water would still be in the accusative case. Я вижу воду. Я люблю воду. Я хочу воду. Because even if you're technically not acting upon it, those verbs would still make it a direct object. And if you're ever in doubt, just replace it with a personal pronoun in English. Would you say I see she or I see her? If the answer is I see her, then it's the object form, hence you should use the accusative case. And a little disclaimer, of course there is more to the accusative case, but in this video I'm only teaching you the very basics. But I'll definitely record some more videos about the accusative case and other cases in the future. Okay guys, I hope you liked this video. If so, be sure to give it a like. And of course subscribe to my channel, Start Russian, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Until then, пока-пока.